Hello, this is Jeff Robertson, Sales Manager with Penton Audio USA, and this is the second part of a multi-part series on how to utilize the very popular URC200 third-party IP-based remote controller. Hopefully you've watched the first part showing you how to connect and configure and set the IP and everything and launch the software. So we're going to get into how do you actually program the IP command strings and set up the URC200. So let's launch the software. And while we're launching the software, let's go to the network and change my net card. There we go. And to my device, do a search. And there's my URC200 right there. So let's do that and hit a connect. Now, once we are here, I am connected, and I know I am because it says TCP connect right here in the column. It says yes. Highlight CRT200 and then go over here to where it says IP strings. Once you do that, your device will show up right here and you can save or load. To load means I want to suck whatever's in or upload whatever's stored in the URC into my software so I can begin to edit it. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's click on load. I highlighted and now we're loaded. You see the progress and success, and we're ready to go. Now once I finish all my changes and my editing, it doesn't get stored in the URC200 until I come back and we highlight save and we click on save down here. But there's no reason to do that yet because we have not done any changes. So once we've done that, let's go to the command window right here. And now once we're in the command window, there are also a couple of options down here. One is to import or export. If I've already done a full design and program, let's just say I had to replace a URC200, or maybe they added one to a system where I went and programmed one and then I came back to do the other ones. Instead of having to go through this all over again, all I have to do is when I finish my design, click export. And if you see right here when I do it, it's actually going to come up to a file folder. I can actually save this as a file, and it will actually save it as a zip file. When I want to come by and use that design for another URC200, then all I have to do now is click on import, and then once again I could just grab whatever file I wanted, click open, and then it would automatically go import into the system. That's an import export if you want to save it. It's always a good idea to save your config files, and then that way you could use them again. I've already got one I did earlier, and I've got an IDA8 and a UAP, and then there's a message one. This is the main screen, and when you're in the main screen, there's three main headers. So when anybody wakes the system up by touching any of the jog wheels or the buttons on the system on the screen, it's going to come up with the bitmap or the logo, and then they hit enter, and then it's going to take them to this main screen. And these are editable, so these can be anything you want. Typically, we normally see where they put volume control as one of them. The next one might say source select, and another one might be room combine or muting or whatever you want. But you have three main fields that have nested screens below the fields. To get to the nested screens, you could edit these all that you want. Is just click on the link, and now you're into the nested screen, or what I call the first layer. And when you're on this first layer, there are 8 fields or lines that are visible on the front screen of the URC200. You can have many, many more than that. Matter of fact, we have not reached the end where it said you have too much, and I've done into the teens. But you just have to use the data jog wheel to scroll up and down on the screen. So just remember you got 8. So these are where you can actually put in your nested commands. And so if you think about it, here's the IDA8 volume. So when I click enter on the front panel on IDA8 volume, it's going to take me to this screen, and I'm going to actually see mute, zone 1, zone 2. And remember, this is volume, so we know this is zone 1. And if I go to this, it's going to allow me to control the volume in, say, zone 1. You have 2 types of buttons here. One is a macro and one is a normal. If you look at the drop-down menu, you only have those 2 options there. The normal means when I go to the zone 1 and I go hit this link, then it's going to take me to all the options that I could have in here for zone 1 volume. The easiest way is I have volume up and I have volume down. You could have low, medium, and high, very high. You could name these morning, midday, evening, after hours, whatever you want it to do, because you're going to set your command up to do whatever you coaxing them to do right here. So if we say volume up and we want it to go volume up, then this is the actual command that it's going to spit out. All these fields have to be entered for any command whatsoever that you put in here. One is the IP of the device you're actually controlling. In this instance, it's the IP of the IDA8 unit on the network. The port, this is the third-party control port that you've told the other devices that will be open. Whenever they see this port command come in, then they know this is a third-party command coming through. All you have to do, the default is 19761. That is the default on all of them. Just make sure that that is the exact same port on all your remote devices. If you change it here or if you change it in the devices, they all have to be the same. You also have a success field right here, and this is if the command goes through and everything's fine, the device that you sent the command to will actually spit out 060D as a success response, and the URC will see that and actually real fast on the top will show a success. The fails is 100D. The 060D success and 100D fail is the same on every single command that you send out. This is the same on everything. Even if it's come from Crestron or AMX, these are the same success and fails that we spit out of all of our devices. The transmit, this is the actual hexadecimal binary code that we send over the network to tell the remote unit what to do. And this is what you have to get from the remote unit that you're actually doing third-party controls. So let's go to zone 2. There's volume up, and I think we already have this set for volume up, but let's volume down. Let's just make sure we don't have anything in here. So I'll take that IP information out of there, and I want to go to my IDA8. And so when I'm in my IDA8, here is my zone 2 output, and there is my zone 2 third-party controller. Now if I right-click on the fader or the button, and I already see that it's already set up for third-party control, that's good. I go down to my third-party control list, and if you don't understand how to do this, there's a video on this for the IDA8 system as well. So I want to go to my level 2. So this is my output 201 to 204, which is what is labeled there for this job, and it's input number 2, which is actually my zone number 2. So I'm just going to highlight that and then go to my third-party command. Now over here is my controller for the third-party command. So this is where I say if I want to click the up button or down button on my URC, how much do I want it to go up or down? 3 dB, 6 dB, whatever you want to make it. You could also do a read or a write. But for right now, we're just going to say every time I push the button for up or down, I want that zone to go up or down 3 dB every time I push it. So let's just enter 3 dB. And we're going to go over here. You've got 4 options. Read means if I send this command right here, it's actually just going to spit back the value that this fader is set at anyway. Like if it's right here, it's going to spit back negative 9.1. If I write and set this command, then the minute I set this command, it would take this fader right to 3. It would take it right there because that's the value I set, and it would write it. It would say go to 3. Increase, decrease means every time I send this command, that it's going to increase it if I use this one, or decrease it if I copy this command data. So that fader will go up or down 3 dB every time I send these commands. So we are doing a decrease. So let's highlight the decrease, and I want to decrease 3 dB, so I know that's set. I right-click right here and say copy command data. There, it's copied to my clipboard. I go back to my URC200, and right here where it says transmit, just Control V. And that is my data. Matter of fact, I can look at it 2E300398 OD, 2E300398 OD. There you go. Success fail, IP. We are all set. That's ready to go. The timeout is seconds before it stops. If it doesn't get its response from the unit after 3 seconds, it'll actually flash and say timeout and stop trying to send the signal. Then, that means you got a connection issue or you're sending bad data and it's not getting it. So that's the volume down, and we've got that set up for 2. Let's just see if this one, I don't know if that was set up or not. I will delete that. And for zone 2 up, I want to go up 3D. I go down here, right click, copy that data for the increase, go for the URC, and we will Control V, and there you go. I have on here two different options for your commands, normal and macro. Normal means when I go here and now you click on volume up on your URC, it's just going to spit that command out and get a success or fail or timeout, and away you go. Now let's just say I was doing some logic buttons, which we'll show you how to do in another video. The macro actually goes and does all of these commands one after the other. So you see right here for mute on, it's going to send that command data, and when it gets the success back, it's going to go to this next one and send that command automatically, and once it gets a success or the failure or timeout, it will go to the next one. So it does all four in sequential operation, which is, there's a lot of instances where you need that. So we will talk about that in another video, but I just want to let you know what the difference between normal and macro is. So if we go to our UAP volume, and let's go to our zone 2, and we see we have nothing here, so we will click add, and this will be, remember we're in zone 2, so we're going to say volume up, and we'll add another one, and we will put in here volume down. There we go. And we could even, if you wanted to, you could put in here mute. And there we go. So now we got volume up for zone 2. So I'm going to go in here, and once again, we have all the information here. And the UAP actually is 10.0.0.101. The port is the exact same thing, 19761. Our success is 060D, and our fail is 100D. And now we have to figure out the transmit. Well, now let's go to our UAP. And here is my output, and my zone 2 fader is right here, and if I do it, I can see it's set for third party. If I click on it, all I have to do is right click on it, bring up this menu, and then click on third party, and it's ready. I can just right click and see that it's already enabled for third party. Then I go up here to my view and go to third party control. There's videos on this for the UAP, so just to let you know. So I want to go to my input number 2 for this preamp output B. And all we have to do is go right here to the command and click on this radial. And here are the commands. And as you can see right here, this is my increase and decrease. So right here, I'm just going to put 3. And for my increase, there is my packet. And I can just right click and hit copy. And I go back to my URC and hit Control V. And there's my data. And that's 03520D, so I can actually double check that. My volume down, we are going to do the same thing, 10.0.0.101 for my UAP, port 19761. And by the way, use your default as UDP on this. That means it blasts it across the entire network, not point to point. And we have 060D for success, and we have the same failed 100D code. And for our transmit, let's go back to our UAP because this is volume down, and you see 03520D, so we knew that was right. Highlight, right click, copy, go back to our URC and hit Control V to paste it in there, and there is the command. And so now that we have these all set up, now all we have to do is go back to this unit. So we got to highlight it. We will click Save, and we will save this programming into the URC200. And I can close this out. And now if I look on my URC, I got ID8 volume, UAP, and if I hit it, I've got my zone 1, I've got my zone 2. If I hit on either one of those, it actually takes me to volume up and volume down, just like we wanted. Okay, so that is the quick tutorial on how to actually set up your IP strings for normal, for just doing one command, turn something up, down, read, write it, or whatever. Stay tuned for the next video where we'll show you how to do a macro and also to do logic button command strings. Thank you, and have a terrific day.